Hello, Acho. Today we are going to study some mathematical concept which is very much required for understanding physics clearly, right? These mathematical concepts are say basic concepts which helps in understanding concepts of physics and physical chemistry and say some maths also, right? This uh, when you are starting your subject in say science subject PCM in 11th, you will undergo some topics which are very much new to for you, right? Like vector quantities, like trigonometry concept, then some differentiation, then integration, right? These concepts are called mathematical tools which helps in understanding science concept, right? So we will study today basic concepts, right? So we will study today basic concepts. That basic concepts are say coordinate geometry and then differentiation and integration. These two combined is called basic calculus, right? This is called basic calculus. So these are say some topics which we are going to study today, right? So let me introduce myself. So I'm Rajiv Gupta. I've done a BTech from IIT-JEE and I have experience of 25 years in teaching IIT-JEE and NEET XII, and I'm ex-faculty of say Frederick South Delhi Center, right? Come to the chapter topic. So let's start the topic. So so these are topics which we are going to study today, right? One is say coordinate geometry. So one is say coordinate geometry, basic, then differentiation, then integration. Logarithmic, this will not deal in say in a complete way. It will be dealt in say a maths chapter. Trigonometry, we are studying say some basic trigonometry, and we will study vector in say detail, right? Vector in detail. So for 11th understanding, you have to know basic concept of geometry, then basic concept of differentiation, then basic concept of integration, right? So these are the topics which we are going to study. Clear? So let's start basic concept of say coordinate geometry. In coordinate geometry, we need location or position of a point, right? And its equation, how this point behave. That means if a point is moving, then what will be equation? What will be the path? That means it may happen that this particle is moving and it is moving in a straight line. Then we need some equation. That equation will tell us how this particle is moving, right? So that will be say straight line equation if it is moving in a straight line, and that straight line equation is generally y equal to mx plus c. So seeing the equation, only seeing the equation, that is say power of 1 on both, right? We can say that this is equation of a straight line, right? So suppose we are getting say x plus 1, so this will be a straight line which has got some slope, right? That slope will be say m, that will be say 45 degree. So this will be stated, which is stated at 45 degree, right? So we can say that we need some equation of say straight line, we need some equation of a circle if a particle is moving in a circle, or we need an equation of say parabola if it is moving in a parabolic path. So in that case we need the location of the particles. First we will see the coordinate, that is called coordinate of the particle. So we will have two coordinates. One is called x, that is called abscissa, and one is called y, that is a ordinate. X axis is generally horizontal, and y coordinate is generally vertical, right? It is not hard and fast rule that it will be always horizontal and vertical. It axis may be tilted. So this axis may be tilted. This may be taken as x, this may be taken as y. Right. So usually we take x axis as horizontal and y axis as vertical. In that case, we will see that if a particle is in say first quadrant, then its both the coordinates will be positive, right? So say some particle is point P and its coordinate are say x comma y. So these are say position of the particle, right? In x comma y means we have to move by x amount in horizontal direction and by y amount in vertical direction. Clear? So in horizontal direction we would move x amount, and for to reach here to the point we will move y in vertical direction. Right? So we will reach here at point P. So this is the position of the particle. So since this is say x and we are getting this as a rectangle, so this will be again x and this will be y and this will be again y. Right? So we are getting a rectangular shape. Right? So these are terms which we understand. Here we can represent y as a function of x. Suppose it is a straight line, we represent y as a function of x. That means y depends on the values of x. Right? For example, say y equal to x plus 2 or x plus 3, like this. These are the straight line equation. That is the it is a function, right? So y is a function of x. Clear? So आप इसे एक बार नोट कर लीजिए, नोट कर दें, ठीक है? तो you will see that there will be origin, that will be a fixed point, and from origin right direction is taken as positive direction, left side is taken as negative direction, vertically up is taken as positive direction, and vertically down is taken as negative direction. Right? These are say axes, x and y. Right? Next. So how a position of a particle is located? Position of particle is located by symbol x comma y. This x comma y will give the position of the particle, right? X comma y. Here x is called x coordinate. This is called axis also, and y is called y coordinate. That is a coordinate, right? Called coordinate also. So here we will call x as x coordinate and y means y coordinate. Clear? In that case, suppose this is the first quadrant, so we will both will be positive, right? And some point is say 2, 3. That means this side we have to move by 2 amount, and this side we have to move by 3 amount vertically, right? Suppose we have to reach at minus 3, 1. That means minus 3, 1. That means we have to move towards left by minus 3 amount and vertically up by plus 1 amount. Clear है? Understand? So similarly we can reach at the third point, that is say minus 1.5 minus 2.5, right? So here both will be negative. That means minus 1.5 we say minus 1.5 and down we say minus 2.5. So this will be say point is right. In this case fourth quadrant is there, where positive and negative will be there. So this is how a position is plotted on a graph, right? This is called y-x curve, right? Y-x curve. So this is basically y-x graph, and this is in y-x plot we are plotting the points. These are the points which are plotted, right? Understand? Next we will see change in position. So change in position, so if a particle is moving from position 1 to position 2, suppose this was the position first, initially it was here and finally it is at here, right? So there will be a change in position. That means this change in position is called displacement. That means this particle has got some displacement. Understand? Because its position has changed. So whenever position of a particle change, it got displaced, right? So that straight line running these 2 points is called displacement, right? So how a change in position is denoted? We have to understand, right? To represent change, we use a delta symbol, right? We will use a delta symbol, right? We will use a delta symbol to represent this. So this is a delta symbol represent change, right? For example, we are writing say change in x. That means uh, we will put a delta symbol ahead of this x. That means we are taking change in position of x. That means it will be difference of two values of x, right? So it will be a difference of two values of x2 and x1. Similarly, there will be say change in y, delta y. That means it will be difference of two values of y, y2 and y1. Clear है ये? समझ रहे हो आप? So next we will see some terms related to coordinate geometry, right? Basic coordinate. So that some term is say this one. That is say we have to find distance between 2 points. So suppose we are getting 2 points and we have to find distance, right? So these are say position of 2 points. So first point is say at A and the second point is at B, right? So this distance, that is say closest distance. So shortest distance we can say. So this distance means here a displacement, that is A to B. The line running A to B. So this length we have to understand, calculate, right? So how can we calculate this length? आप बता सकते हैं? Yes, we will use Pythagoras theorem, right? Because we have to form a triangle, right angle triangle, that is ABC, and in this right angle triangle we will see that this AB square will be sum of this AC square and BC square, right? So this AC square plus BC square will be equal to the AB square, right? And from here we can find distance AB. For this, say the particle is at position A. When it is at position 1, so its coordinate will be say x1, comma y1, right? And at position B, its coordinate are say x2, y2. Here we have to find this perpendicular distance BC and then this base AC, right? For BC or AC, we will see that this complete length is say y2. So this is say y2 and this is say y1, right? This one is say y1, right? So this length will be say y2 minus y1, difference of these two. That means we will see that this BC length is y2 minus y1, right? Similarly, what will be AC length? x2 minus x1, because here this complete length is here to here we are getting x2 and here to here we are getting x1, right? So we have to take difference of these two. So we will get say x2 minus x1. So from here this AD length is x2 minus x1 and then this AC length will be again x2 minus x1. Clear again? Right. Now we can use AC as x2 minus x1 and BC as y2 minus y1. So for AB, it will be formula, we will have x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1. So this is the distance formula, right? So thus we are getting distance formula.
Distance formula.
Right? This is called
Distance.
formula.
Midpoint.
Distance?
Midpoint.
Midpoint. For midpoint, suppose A coordinate is say x1, comma y1 and B coordinate is x2, y2. And we have to find coordinate of midpoint by secting these two line. So this line in two parts, right? So this midpoint coordinate will be average of these two, x1 plus x2 y2, and y coordinate will be y1 plus y2 y2. Understand? Right. So next we are going to study straight line. And for a straight line, first of all, we have to understand what is the slope of a line. आप बता सकते हो what is slope of a line? It tells us steepness, how much steeper a line is there, right? So we will see that in case of slope of a line, it defines steepness of a line, how much steeper a line is there, right? जिसको हिंदी में आप ढाल कहते हैं, right? जैसे आप किसी पहाड़ से उतर रहे हो तो you will see some steepness, right? ढाल, right? या आप सीढ़ी पे चढ़ रहे हो तो you will find some staircase as steeper and some as less steeper, right? So if a line is less steeper, then it makes smaller angle with horizontal, and if it more steeper, it will make greater angle with horizontal line, right? So slope of a line, ये कैसे पता करते हैं? How we can find slope of a line? We will see how much rise we are taking, that is say BC, and how much distance we are moving. So suppose we have to find slope of this line. So we have to find slope of this line. This slope of line is defined as tangent of the angle theta made with the x-axis. So it is defined as tangent of angle made by the straight line with point to x-axis, right? It is called tan theta, short form. Tangent of theta, that means tan theta, right? It is tan theta. The slope of line is defined as tan theta, right? Now this tan theta in figure part, it is called ratio of opposite side to the adjacent side, that is perpendicular by base, P by B, right? So P by B हम लोग पढ़ते हैं, right? So BC by AC. So here the side opposite to theta is BC and the side adjacent to theta is AC. So we will say BC by AC. So this is say slope of line tan theta. Understand?
Yes.
Right. Next, tan theta. We can see that this tan theta is say the side ratio of the side opposite to theta and the side adjacent to theta, right? So it is say BC by AC. That is called tan theta. Ratio of opposite side to the adjacent side. So here we can say that tan theta is the side opposite to theta and side adjacent to theta ratio, right? So that will say opposite upon adjacent. We can say that, right? So here we can understand slope of a line. क्लियर है? अब हमें स्लोप ऑफ लाइन से बेसिकली पता क्या चलता है, तो हमें पता चलता है कि किस कोई चीज़ कितना स्टीपर है या कितने स्टीपर से वो चेंज हो जाए, राइट? तो स्लोप ऑफ पोजीशन टाइम, सो पोजीशन टाइम गिव्स वेलोसिटी ऑफ ए पार्टिकल. सो इफ वी have say position x and time t, and there is say some curve like this. So what will be velocity? This is the curve, XT curve, position time. What will be velocity? Here theta is 0 degree. This line is making 0 degree. So slope will be how much? 0. So velocity will be 0. That's it. This particle is at rest. Position is not changing.
Slope.
This is not slope. Here slope is 0. Because it is horizontal. Suppose this line is something like this, right? Suppose this line is something like this, right? Then we can say that this line makes some angle theta, and this will be say slope tan theta, right? So suppose this line makes angle theta with time axis, then this tan theta will be the velocity. You can understand?
Yes.
Right? So that's the XT curve slope. XT curve slope gives velocity, position time slope, and distance time graph gives speed. तो यहाँ पर position यहाँ पे suppose distance हो और time के साथ हो, then slope of this line will give the speed of the particle. Clear? If it is distance time, and if it is position time, then it will be velocity. Right? So we will study this in say physics chapter. Now we can see here that this line A and line B, which one is more steeper? More steeper, A or B?
B.
B is more steeper. It is more. So here we that line B is more steeper than line A. Here we will that slope of B is greater than slope of A. Slope of B means tan theta B is greater than tan theta A, and here from here we can say that theta B is greater than theta A. So this angle theta B is greater than this angle theta A, right? So thus we are getting this concept of slope of a line. Understand? आया समझ में? So इसी slope of line को थोड़ा बेटर हम लोग एक तरह से फॉर्मूला वाइज देखें तो we can see that it represents in terms of say difference of coordinate also. That means it will be ratio of difference of y coordinate and x coordinate. So delta y will be y2 minus y1 and delta x will be x2 minus y1. So this slope can be as ratio of difference of y to the difference of x coordinate, right? So here we will see that it says this there are 2 points A and B, and this A has got coordinate x1 comma y1 and B has got coordinate x2 comma y2. Then BC will be y2 minus y1 and this AC will be say x2 minus x1. This tan theta will be written as BC upon AC, that is y2 minus y1. So right. So this will give the slope, and tan theta we know that opposite by adjacent. Next we will see that in position time curve defines slope. The slope of this position time curve gives, we can say it gives velocity, and if we have curve say velocity time, then slope of this velocity curve will give the acceleration. Understand? Now we will move on say some concepts related to this slope. Suppose we are getting a line which is say parallel to horizontal axis, right? So these lines are say horizontal. So what will be slope?
0.
Theta will be 0, slope will be 0, right? Now this line is say making some angle theta, acute angle. So what will be slope? Positive or negative? Slope will tan theta is positive because this angle is acute. Acute angle is 0 to 90. Tan theta is positive. So slope will be positive. If theta is acute angle 0 to 90 degree, right? Now suppose this line makes an angle theta which is say obtuse. What will be slope? Then the slope will be negative. Understand? ठीक है, तो here we are getting a negative slope. So suppose this is a line and this line makes an angle theta which is say obtuse angle. Obtuse angle कहाँ से कहाँ तक का होता है angle? Greater than theta, less than 180 degree. Yeah. So in that case tan theta is negative. Slope is negative. So in this type of line, slope is negative. Now this line is say vertical. If this line is vertical, then what will be slope?
Vertical.
So this tan 90 degree will be infinity. So this tan 90 degree will be infinity and this slope will be infinity. That means there is some move. That means there is say only rise. There is no movement. Without moving, there is some rise. So there will be a huge slope. Right? So that is the infinite slope. This is not defined, right? We can say that this slope is not defined, right? Now suppose a curve is other than a straight line. Suppose the curve is like this, right? Suppose the curve is like this. Then how we can get a slope? How we can get a slope? Yes. How we can get the slope of this curve?
Tangent.
So for this we have to draw tangent. So we have to draw tangent. Tangent will give the slope of that line. Right? Suppose this is the curve and this is the tangent and this is the tangent. So this tangent is making angle theta 2. So the slope will be tan theta 2. And here tangent is this side, at this point tangent is making angle theta 1. So slope is tan theta 1. So which one is the more steeper? So slope is increasing or decreasing? In this case, curve is like this.
Increasing.
So slope is increasing or decreasing?
Increasing.
Hmm?
Increasing.
This is the curve. So this slope is increasing or decreasing?
Increasing.
Yes. So this is increasing slope. Right. In this case, slope is decreasing or increasing?
Decreasing.
So here tangent is making more angle. Here tangent is making less angle. So we can say that slope is decreasing. Right. In this case, yes. In this case, slope is increasing or decreasing? Yes. Increasing. And here we are getting a constant straight line. Slope is constant or changing?
Constant.
So slope will be, whenever we are getting a straight line curve, slope will be constant. Right? Positive constant. Here slope is decreasing or increasing? And then straight line. It will be constant or variable? Constant. Positive or negative? Negative. Because this line is making some acute angle. Obtuse angle with positive axis. Understand? Clear? So these are concepts related to slope of a line. Next we will understand some rule, right? So some rule related to this. So we will introduce some ratio that is called trigonometric ratios. So how many trigonometric ratios you have studied in say last year? 6 or 3? 6. So there are 6 trigonometric ratios, right? Out of these 6, these 3 are say tan theta, sin theta and cos theta, right? So in case of tan theta, formula will be say a ratio of opposite side to the adjacent side, right? So it will be say opposite upon adjacent. Sin theta, what will be sin theta?
Opposite upon peak.
Opposite to the hypotenuse, that is biggest side. Biggest side, right? And what will be cos theta?
Adjacent upon
Adjacent
peak.
upon
Peak.
biggest, right?
Yes.
So these are say 3 trigonometric ratios. This formula we have to understand. Here we will see that ratio of these two, that is say sin theta and cos theta ratio will give the tan theta, right? Because this big will be cancelled out and this ratio will give the tan theta. Okay, right? Now we will see that in first quadrant, if theta is say acute angle, that is say less than say 0 and 90, then this tan theta will be positive, right? If this theta is say obtuse angle, that is say between 90 to 180, then tan theta will be negative and so will be negative. Understand? Again in third quadrant, this angle is between say 270 to 360. That means this is the same straight line which is going in this third, that will be again a positive, right? In this fourth quadrant, this total angle is greater than 270 and less than 360, right? Here angle is between 180 to 270. Here angle is between 270 to 360. So this line is basically extension of this first line, second quadrant line, right? So it will again a negative quadrant. Understand? So thus we can see that tan theta values will be positive in first and second quadrant angles, and tan theta will be negative for second and fourth quadrant angles. Understand?
Yes.
So thus you can tell us for angle between 0 degree to 360 degree, what will be the sign of tan theta. So tell me what will be the value of say sign of tan 150 degree. It will be positive or negative?
Positive.
150 degree.
Negative.
How?
150.
150 lies is say obtuse angle, no?
Yes. Obtuse angle.
Obtuse angle होगा ना?
Yes.
So obtuse angle के लिए क्या होता है? ये quadrant हुआ ना 150 ये हुआ, हाँ? So it will be negative value. कितनी होगी? तो उसके लिए एक रूल होता है जो हम लोग आगे पढ़ेंगे, राइट? कि tan अगर मान लो 180 डिग्री में से थीटा माइनस करना है तो कितना हो जाएगा ये? माइनस tan थीटा होता है। तो जैसे यहाँ पे 150 डिग्री को हम लोग क्या लिख सकते हैं? We can write it say at tan 180 डिग्री माइनस 30 डिग्री, इसकी वैल्यू कितनी होनी चाहिए बताना। tan 150 को आप क्या लिखेंगे बताइए? tan 180 डिग्री माइनस 30 लिख सकते हैं, तो किसके बराबर आएगा? माइनस tan 30 हो जाएगा। क्लियर? इससे इसका वैल्यू कितना हो जाना चाहिए? माइनस tan 30 मतलब माइनस 1/1 चाहिए। tan 30 से 1 ये नेगेटिव में आएगा माइनस tan 30। इस तरह से आप 150 को बता सकते हैं। इससे आप एक और मैं बता देता हूँ 120 डिग्री का क्या आएगा? tan 120 डिग्री की वैल्यू सपोज someone is asking you value of say tan 120 डिग्री कितनी होगी? माइनस 10
minus
10
minus 10 60.
60 डिग्री से जुड़े से माइनस √3। समझ गया? उसी तरह से अगर आप देखते हो कि अगर मान लो tan 180 डिग्री प्लस थीटा है तो 180 डिग्री प्लस थीटा किस क्वाड्रेंट में जाता है? बताना। ये tan थीटा होगा या माइनस tan थीटा होगा? 180 डिग्री प्लस थीटा, tan थीटा लिखना सही होगा या माइनस tan थीटा लिखना सही होगा? सपोज मैं पूछ रहा हूँ tan 210 डिग्री, इसकी वैल्यू बताओ क्या होता है?